Good evening and welcome to Juba Lens TV. I'm Angelina Jones. Tonight, we bring you a candid and revealing story about South Sudan's postponed elections and political deadlock, with insights from renowned anthropologist and political analyst, Professor Prof Madut. Let's dive right in. In an exclusive interview with Radio Tamazu, Professor Prof Madut, a South Sudanese scholar and fellow at the Rift Valley Institute, leveled sharp criticism at President Salva Kiir and the transitional government, accusing them of misleading the public by promising elections they had no intention of holding. Madut, currently a professor of anthropology at Syracuse University, says the repeated delays in elections serve as a deliberate distraction from deeper national crises such as widespread hunger, displacement, and economic collapse. Elections never a realistic plan, says Madut. Professor Madut explained that despite consistent promises of elections since 2018, key preparations like a national census, reunification of armed forces, and constitutional reforms were never implemented. Financial resources and international support were also lacking. The government kept talking about elections to divert attention from hunger, displacement, and bankruptcy. The public wasn't surprised by the latest postponement, it was just another delay tactic, Madut stated. He noted that the government's decision to extend its transitional period by 2 more years has been widely condemned. Madut added that South Sudan faces a grim reality. Instead of seeking solutions such as a government of technocrats to address the country's systemic issues, the leadership appears focused only on clinging to power. No hope for genuine peace implementation. The renowned scholar expressed skepticism about the government's commitment to the 2018 peace agreement, pointing to multiple extensions since the initial deadline. If they failed to meet any benchmarks in 6 years, what makes us believe they'll achieve anything in the next 2? He asked, warning that the peace process is being used as an excuse to avoid governance reforms. Madut emphasized that political factions, including SPELM and SPELMIO, appear to have a shared goal: maintaining power rather than pushing for meaningful change. Options for change dwindling. Madut voiced concerns about the dwindling options for reform. South Sudan's civil society lacks the organizational strength to hold leaders accountable, unlike in neighboring Sudan. He also criticized the weakening of international pressure from key guarantors such as the United States, Norway, and regional bodies like IGAD. At this point, the country is at the mercy of its leadership. The people are simply waiting for goodwill that is unlikely to come, Madut said grimly. Doubts over Tumaini Initiative in Nairobi. Madut also cast doubt on the success of the Tumaini Initiative, a mediation effort led by the Kenyan government aimed at uniting holdout opposition groups with the South Sudanese government. He argued that the initiative risks becoming another failed power-sharing deal. According to Madut, the original goal of Tumaini was to persuade opposition leaders such as Paul Malong and Pagan Amum to rejoin the government. However, he praised stakeholders in Nairobi who proposed focusing on South Sudan's structural problems like governance, institutional reforms, and climate resilience rather than recycling old political arrangements. Government resistance to meaningful dialogue. Despite positive proposals during the Nairobi talks, Madut said the South Sudanese government resisted these ideas. He revealed that senior government officials such as Albino Matham and Michael Makui Luth were wary of addressing deeper governance reforms. Some officials, he added, prioritized returning opposition leaders to Juba over tackling the fundamental issues that plague the country. The government panicked when real reform discussions emerged. They were only interested in cosmetic agreements, not lasting solutions, Madut explained. Conclusion: a country in waiting. and closing, Professor Madut offered a bleak forecast, suggesting that the ongoing delays and political gridlock would likely continue unless the South Sudanese leadership chooses to change course, an unlikely prospect, in his view. Unfortunately, South Sudan's people will have to keep waiting, because change is not coming from the current leadership anytime soon, he concluded. And that wraps up our top story tonight on Juba Lens TV. Will the leaders of South Sudan embrace meaningful change, or are we facing yet another chapter of delays and broken promises? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching. I'm Angelina Jones. Stay tuned for more updates on the hour.